Dave from the Redneck Garage. Well, today we're going to talk about front end service, what to do, how to change the oil, that kind of thing. Lubelocker, which is a super cool gasket that we use on the front end. What kind of gear oil is the best type to use in our Chief YJs. First of all, though, I wanted to talk about something. If you remember from the video before this one, I talked about the lightning strike and how my neighbor's house caught on fire and how awful that was. Well, I did not go unscathed with the lightning storm. The day after we looked at my neighbor's house, my mother-in-law called and she said, "David?" And I said, "Yes." And she says, "My air conditioner's out." And I was like, crap, well, maybe it's something easy. Maybe she doesn't know how to throw a circuit breaker. She's in her 70s and, you know, relatively good shape, but, you know, it's 95 degrees. I said, well, let me go down and look at it. So I go up in her attic and it's blazing, stinking hot, and the fuse is blown. So I pull out the fuse and I go down to AutoZone, I get some automotive fuses, I put one in, and this is what it was doing. Obviously, we have an issue. So, I knew which company installed the unit, and I went down to their office, and I said, "Hey, this is what I got going on. I got a video." I showed him the video on my phone of what was happening to it, and he goes, "Oh, yeah, I think it's maybe a transformer or something related." And I was like, "Okay, no problem." He said, "We can't get anybody there today, but it'll be tomorrow." And I said, "Okay, like what, 1, 2? He goes, "Yeah, around maybe 2 o'clock, whatever." And I was like, "Okay, cool." Next day, about noon, I call and say, "Hey, you got any idea?" He goes, "Oh, yeah, we're pretty busy today, maybe tomorrow." Well, I got my mother-in-law who's on me going, "Hey, do you think they're going to get it fixed today?" Because, I mean, she's sweating to death. So anyway, at that point, I was not happy because they weren't showing up. And then, you know what? Sometimes you just got to go redneck and do it yourself. So I called up my buddy Chris Foster, who owns a plumbing and heating company here in town, who does mostly commercial work, and I said, "Hey, this is what's going on. Let me text you over this video," which was cool that I took a video, right? He says, "That's going to be your board." I'm like, "Oh, crap." So he goes, "Hey, you know what? I'll order you a board. You can pick it up at 4:30. And here's what that looked like putting this stinking thing in. So we're up here. My mother-in-law's air conditioner went out. And I swear to God, I think we're a heat stroke out. We're gonna die. All that is like, it's like air from an oven. Jesus. Yeah. Holy crap.
It's better if we turn it off.
But the unit's messed up, so I'm going to put a new circuit board in it. This is not helping at all. I got a new circuit board for us, so we're gonna try to do it without dying. Send an ambulance if you don't hear from us in a week. It's bad when you're sweating in your ears. That's how hot it is up in this bitch. Holy crap, I'm trying to get this done. Even though I'm about to sweat to death, you can hear the air conditioner running. Woo! So anyway, that was super cool. I was able to fix it myself. I called up the other company and I said, "Hey, never mind. Take me off your schedule. I fixed it myself." And he's like, "Really? What was it?" And I said, "It was a part. I'll talk to you later." So anyway, sometimes you just got to go redneck and fix it yourself and turn some wrenches. But anyway, let's get back to the video on the front end service. And we're going to let this drain for a little while. There's a lot of water soaked because I had the axles out and I pressure washed everything. So a lot of that water went down into the center. So we'll let it drain really well, get all that water out, spray it down with some carb cleaner, and then clean our gasket off, clean off the cover, and then we'll put it back together. Hopefully tomorrow have it back all zipped up. Alright, so here's our rear end cover, and it sat in the electrolyte bath for about a day at 2 amps, and there is not one speck of rust on it. There's you can actually see numbers on it and stuff. That's pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and coat it, paint it, and then she'll be ready to put back on as far as doing the front end service. I'm taking some of the rust and crap off of those bolts for the front end differential by using my Harbor Freight vibratory tumbler. And if you've got a lot of time to spare, you can use this to get your bolts cleaned up. It takes forever, but it does a fairly good job without having to mess with them very much. All right, so we got it all cleaned out with carb cleaner, drained out. There's nothing else left in it. And one of the coolest things you can use instead of silicone on these is called a Lubelocker. And if you go to the Redneck Garage Products, there's a link to where you can get the Lubelocker. But these things are super, super cool, right? You don't have to use any silicone. It self-seals and you can reuse it. It's got a steel intercoating and it's got these little, I don't know what, some kind of rubber gasket material on the sides. And you use one of these and you can take it off and do another service later and reuse it. And they're about, I think, $20. But they are super cool. I've never had one leak, so we're going to be putting that on here. And we've got the painted cover, and the bolts came out of the tumbler, looking very nice for the most part. Got all the rust and junk off of them, and then we'll just coat it with another coat of paint real quick. So let's go ahead and get that set up and zip this baby back together and put some oil in it. Now you want to get them all started by hand before you crank them down, because you don't really want to get them cross-threaded. But then you're just gonna tighten those babies back up. Now to fill it up, you just take a 3/8 ratchet and take your plug out on the Dana 30. And I've already had this plug out, cleaned it up. And now we're gonna get ready to add our lubricant in there. For this, I'm using Royal Purple Max Gear. It's full synthetic, 75/90. I don't have a locker in the front. I might one day, but who knows? But that's all you really need is 75/90 for the front. And I've got my little pumper here, and we're going to put that in there, and we're going to pump her up. See what happens. And you're just going to pump it up. I didn't know that this stuff was really purple oil. The oil is actually purple. That's a trip. So you're just going to keep pumping it until you see oil coming out of the hole there, and then you can put your plug back in and you're good to go. Very, very simple process to clean that out. If you get any type of seal leakage or water that gets down in your axle, you need to do an oil service on it, get all that water out, because it will destroy the differential. So we're just going to keep pumping this up until we see it coming out, and I'll show you that here in just a second. When you see it running out like that, then it's pretty much full. And I'll force a little bit in it, and I'll put the plug in right here. When it's coming out like that, it's full, and I'll put the plug in. Hey, baby. I'll tighten this plug down, and our front end service is complete. Awesome. So that's about it. Don't lose your bolts. Clean up everything. And use the correct oil in it, and you should be good to go. If you haven't changed your oil in your differentials for a while, it's probably a good idea. Sometimes water gets down in there if you go off-roading, and I like using the synthetic oil because it doesn't tend to break down. So super cool. We're going to be going down to Mark's this week and check on the motor block, and I'm going to get on him and ride him like Zorro and say, let's get this thing done, because we're going to have those videos coming up. Woo! Hopefully it won't be quite as hot this week. I'm David from the Redneck Garage. Keep turning wrenches.